Oop went LC with sister after she didn't invite Oop to her wedding. I am not op. Original post by U Positive Bean in R. Am I the asshole? And NBSP. AITA for not wanting to talk to my sister after she didn't invite me to her wedding? The 2nd of October 2022. So I, 19F, have two half-sisters. Haley, 30F, and Sarah, 32F. Before my dad met my mom and had me, he was married to Mary, 60F, and had Haley and Sarah. My dad wasn't happy in their marriage. And after around 15 years being married they filed for a divorce. 23 years later my dad met my mom and they fell in love. My dad didn't want to start a relationship because he didn't want to hurt Haley's and Sarah's feelings. But eventually decided to have me with my mom, which didn't turn out to be a problem, since Haley and Sarah were ecstatic to hear they're getting a baby sister. They also never had a problem with my mom. They like her and my mom is always there to help them when they need help. I saw them a lot growing up, and our relationship was pretty good. Sarah was especially fond of me, inviting me to her place a lot and doing a lot of fun stuff together like going to the movies. Which is why I was devastated when she didn't invite me to her wedding. In 2018, my dad told me Sarah was getting married and I was overjoyed. I know her fiancé and HEA really nice. And I was super excited to go dress shopping, since I thought I would be invited to. I wasn't, because Sarah's mom Mary never wanted to see me. She's basically been ignoring my existence ever since I was born. My dad and sisters always took care so that I wouldn't run into her when staying at Sarah's place. For example, Sarah never told me I wasn't invited to go dress shopping. I found out by Haley telling me what a nice dress they picked out. I was taken aback, but didn't think too much of it. My sister's wedding was in Italy, and when my dad booked the ticket to go I realized I wasn't invited since he only booked one. My mom had warned me after they got engaged that I probably wouldn't be invited and to not get my hopes up, but I didn't think Sarah actually wouldn't invite me because her mom can't cope that my dad moved on and had a child with another woman. What hurt most though is that Sarah never told me I wasn't invited. No text, letter, talk, nothing. She just moved on with her life like it never happened. She never tried to talk to me about it. When I saw her at family gatherings after, she only made small talk with me, as if nothing happened. Ever since then I kinda detached myself from her and didn't go over to her place with my dad or anything. After a couple months I completely stopped talking to her, because I noticed that my mental health was suffering and I decided to do what's best for myself, which is going NC and avoiding her at family gatherings or not going altogether. It's been 4 years, and my dad asked me to maybe talk it out with her. He doesn't want to pressure me to anything, but he says that family is important and that he would like it if we got along. He also told me he never knew she never told me I wasn't invited. That she told him she had talked to me. He understands I am upset and he doesn't want to get involved. He just told me how he felt. She's also been trying to reach out to me a couple of months ago by asking my dad if he could ask me to have a talk with her, which is why he brought it up in the first place. AITA for not wanting to talk to my sister since it's been so long. Should I just get over it? Edit. Clearer wording. ETA. I didn't block her on my socials, so she could have reached out to me if she had wanted to. She still can. Her number isn't blocked. I only unfollowed her on IG. ETA. Maybe I should add this wasn't a one-time thing. Her son was born in 2016 and I wasn't invited for his birthday party in 2017 because her mom was there too. I just gave the present I got him to my dad who gave it to Sarah at the party. She later called me and said, "Thank you." I was a bit bummed out but understood. Grandmother cancels out Aunt lol. Also, because I saw a lot of comments speculating I might be an affair child and that's why Mary is so offended by my existence. I'm not. Disregarding the fact that my dad would never cheat and that my mom would never degrade herself to be a mistress. They met through mutual friends well after the divorce and said friends are still in their life and have told me how they met 100 times lol. Additionally, my dad did stand up for me to her. He criticized her not wanting to invite me, but it was her wedding and they have a weird relationship, in the sense that they argue a lot because they're both hot-headed and stubborn. It's complicated and a lot to get into. I hope I cleared some things up. Should have added them to the original post. And NBSP. The 4th of October update. Kind of. Thank you guys for all your comments. I tried reading all of them and I did read most. It's just a lot to keep up with lol. Just know I appreciate that you took time out of your day to give some judgment and advice. Anyway, for the update, while this sub did deem me to be NTA, but was split on whether my sister, her mom, my dad or all of them were ta, I do feel kinda uneasy not talking to her at all. Forever. She requested to follow me on Instagram a few days ago. I think this is a subtle way of telling me, I care about what's going on in your life right now. But I might be wrong. Nevertheless, I let her follow request sit in my inbox for a while and thought about how I handled things moving forward. I also took into account a lot of advice you guys gave. Even though a lot of you were split between cut her out of your life forever and maybe talk to her, lol. I think I'm going to accept her request and see what happens. I think I'm ready to talk about what happened and how that made me feel. To explain why I was so hurt not to be invited and why I decided to go LC and see. What I'm not sure about is if I'd accept an apology, if there even is one, or if I'm ready to start a relationship with her again. I guess I'll update you on that if something happens. And if you guys want another update, that is. Lol. Anyway, thank you guys again. PS I forgot to mention in the original post, but my sister Haley got engaged a couple months back. They haven't set a date yet, but she mentioned to my dad wanting to invite me and even my mom. Let's see if she follows through. If so, I might have a new favorite sister. JK lol. But I'm actually curious to see how this pans out. And NBSP, reminder I am not the original poster. Oop seems hopeful that the sister will bring it up or even apologize. But after 4 years and other examples of shutting Oop out, I don't see why she'd do it now. Oop needs to bring it up and state their feelings. Or just continue to freeze her out. So Oop was 15 years old when oldest half-sister, Sarah, got married at about 27 years old. I feel like OOP's feelings were hurt because this is a "it's not the crime, it's the cover-up" type situation. Right? As in, Sarah never communicated to Oop about not including her in the wedding and activities like dress shopping. And Sarah lied to their dad about having spoken to Oop about not being invited to the wedding. Because of Sarah's mom's issues, Sarah chose. Still bitter? Mom over half-sister, and I can understand that. What I don't understand is how a grown woman couldn't explain to her younger teen half-sister that, for her family peace, she had to not invite Oop to wedding stuff, and still continue to not communicate about it after 4 years? The onus isn't on Oop. And they had a good relationship all their lives leading up to the wedding. Sarah to Oop, I reject you and I'm not going to tell you why. For 4 years. Glad younger sis is planning on inviting Oop to her wedding. I hope it actually happens. What a cowardly move by the sister. I would never put more emotion or effort into that relationship than she did. Ever again. What a coward her sister is. I'm too petty and hold grudges, so I would have just blocked the sister on everything. although I'd probably have sent a really long text to her first. Honestly, the first mom sounds like the real asshole here. The family dynamic changed years ago and she still gets upset to be in the same room with her children's half-sibling? So immature and heartless. The sister not even talking to her directly is the thing that bothers me the most I could get. Having to make the decision. It sucks, but sometimes there are people that don't get along or someone who may be important who won't budge. But the least she could have done in the situation is sit Oop down and talk to her about it. Ideally, she should have called her mom out on it and still invited Oop, but talking is seriously the smallest thing she could have done to help the situation. I would love to see how Haley handles it. There could be some drama, but I hope she doesn't accept that behavior from her mother. He also told me he never knew she never told me I wasn't invited. That she told him she had talked to me. She's a two-faced coward. Hope Oop keeps her out of her life. Nothing good can come from letting her back in. How much you wanna bet Tat Sarah is mostly interested in free babysitting services now that the kid is getting older? Aw man. I hope Oop gets to have a good time at her other sister's wedding. It was a huge dick move to not only not tell Op, but to lie about the fact that she had. Hopefully the sister is a better sister from now on to Op. I just don't get why Sarah's mom didn't want Oop there. There was no affair or betrayal. It seems like the divorce was amicable given how the girls have no resentment for their parents or the new wife. There's no legitimate reason for the mom not wanting Oop or their mom there. I get that it might be hard to stomach seeing your ex with a new family. But Jesus. Life moves on. You can either sit there and skulk and pout, or you can raise your chin and power through. In this case, Sarah created a rift with her sister. Also, I want to point out that Oop wasn't allowed to be at baby half-nephew's first B-Day party the year before the wedding. In 2017. She was only 14 then. Ex-wife, mom has some issues. And grandma does trump half-aunt. But I'm still sad for Oop. This 14-year-old half-sister of your daughter's is some kind of threat to your happiness? I know stuff like this happens. But weird. I think it's also important to note, if I've read the post correctly, is that if Oop is 19 now and the wedding was 4 years ago, Oop was 15 when she was rejected. That's like the height of teenage angst and hormones. I don't blame Oop for not talking to her sister. She thought she had a good relationship with her and then her sister didn't even bother to tell her she wasn't invited. Oop is definitely being kinder about this than I would have been. But I'm petty LMAO. I hope things are going good for her. It seems Oop hasn't even met the baby? And Oop was a minor when the wedding happened? The sister is so cruel. Doing all of this to a teenager. Who ghosts their little sister like this? Oop is too quick to gloss over the fact that Sarah not only did not invite her, but also told relatives that she explained herself to Oop. She wanted to look good and responsible without doing the actual work. Without caring about the child she was hurting with her actions. I would be very careful about letting Sarah back into my life and would charge double for the babysitting. Reading this one hurt. My sister missed my wedding with no explanation and our relationship has never been the same. It sounds like Oop was the one putting all the energy into keeping their relationship alive. The sister made her choice years ago. You don't have to avoid her like half-mom. But it should be made clear that you don't have a relationship. Sarah asked her dad if he could ask Oop to have a talk with her. Oop is a better person than I am. 'Cause that would have been the thing that made me block her. I'm glad Oop distanced herself from Sarah. Because if things played out like that and my half-sibling was too cowardly to even approach me, themselves to make amends and acknowledge how they'd hurt me, I would lose my marbles. Wouldn't Op have been 15 at time of wedding? Sister and mom are terrible humans. My mother wanted me to not invite my stepmother and little sister from my wedding or she wouldn't come. I told her we'd miss her. She came anyway. Sarah should have called her mother's bluff.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.